Hello, I feel like, I don't know how to start this video. I just feel like YouTube always haven't been very consistent this year, and I think it's about time I spoke about why that's been. Yeah, let's get started. So, as I said, I was looking back at my YouTube the other day, and I just feel like, and I feel like my Instagram as well is really a highlight reel. Yeah, I just feel like all you really see on YouTube and Instagram is me posting when I go on really nice weekends away or if I go to concerts, and that is all well and good, but I just feel like it doesn't really show a true representation of my life, and I will be completely honest. And I think it's something I sort of struggle with a little bit is like what to post and what not to post. Obviously they're my like accounts and my channel, so I can literally post whatever I want, it doesn't really matter. But I'm also very conscious that like I don't want to portray something that's not true. Obviously when I post these things I am always having a great time, which is one of the main reasons why I post it. But also when I watch other creators, like recently I've watched like Mark Ferris do a similar video to this, and like Flossie does quite a lot of like chatty videos which I really enjoy, and it just kind of shows that they are real people, even though they live really exciting lives and have amazing opportunities as influencers. Obviously I'm not like that. I literally don't get paid for anything I post online. I just do it as a hobby. But yeah, I don't know, I was just looking back at my YouTube and my Instagram especially, and I was like, do you know what, I think I need to be a bit honest and say this year has been particularly hard for me. I literally don't want to cry, but yeah, even like last week I was like trying to vlog and I ended up crying, and I'm not going to upload it because I just think it's just a bit much to be put on the internet, me being very, very vulnerable. But yeah, basically I was watching a Mark Ferris video. It said very similar to this. He just sat down, didn't really edit it, just said how he was feeling. And he was sort of saying like, being a creator, you want to be the positive person, because obviously everyone goes onto social media to escape. Like you want to be putting out positive things, but also it's like impossible, and no one feels positive 100% of the time, but also you don't want to be posting really negative, sad stuff on Instagram or YouTube, and it's hard to get the balance right, I think. I feel like I have always been honest in like what I've uploaded, especially when I was at uni. I think back then I was much better at being honest with how I was feeling. Like if I really wasn't liking university or whatever, I was quite honest about it. But I think now I'm in a different period of my life where obviously I do have a full-time job, and like I think I worry more now because obviously I'm in the working world, like, and when you apply for jobs and things, they do background checks, and obviously they can find your social media, so I'm very like more aware of what I post, and like I don't want to post too much or like post anything that could be perceived in the wrong way. I don't really know where I'm going with this, but yeah, I think since working I have kind of been a bit more absent from social media, which I don't think is always a bad thing. Like I'm definitely better at being more present in my social life, and I don't take millions of pictures or like get my friends to be in videos all the time, because like I do just enjoy socializing with them. Obviously I do still post probably the most out of all of them, but now I post now I like don't do as much when I'm in a social situation. But yeah, as I said, I just going back to the original point, I just actually wanted to be honest with how I'm feeling and how I've like found this year particularly. Obviously it's my first like full year out of university. I finished university last year, and I did make a whole video about like how my first year out of uni has been, because I finished university on like the 12th of June last year or something like that. So I did speak about that, like how I found like going from uni into a job sort of thing. But when I filmed that video I was very new into my job, and I feel like now I've been in there 3 months, the sort of honeymoon period has kind of definitely diminished, and everything I'm going to say about my job now, I have raised this with my manager, so like no one's going to be surprised by what I say. But yeah, as I said, like the past couple of months especially, to be honest, so I got made redundant in March, and to be honest around that time I was actually alright. I thought it would affect me more, but it didn't, and I was very lucky I found my current job really quickly. So my old job finished in like end of March, and I started this job beginning of April. So because we had like prior warning like we were getting redundant, I just like was on it with job hunting. and it was actually my mum that found this job, but obviously I applied and everything. And yeah, so I was super grateful. Like, I know, like, for example, my brother got made redundant in like summer 2020, and he didn't find a job till like the beginning of 21. So yeah, he had to, like, took him about 6 months to find a job, where it took me about a month, which I'm so grateful. And like, obviously I'm very grateful for the job I have. I'm doing an apprenticeship, so it's good to be like working towards something again. But yeah, I think I have really struggled like going into full-time work. Obviously before I did a full-time degree, but I think when you do a full-time degree, you're not in a work setting like 9 to 5, or I work 8:30 to 4:30. Like, it's not so rigid. Like with university, you probably go like 3-4 days a week, and you're not really in the whole day. You're probably maybe in only half the day. You can have the rest of the day to yourself, study when you want. I think university nowadays is very like, it's more similar to how you work as a self-employed person compared to like on a payroll, because I worked self-employed after university for about, how long was it? About like 6 months to a year. I was like self-employed. So yeah, I was freelance, but I only worked for one company. But as I said, my hours were really flexible. I could literally work when I wanted. I think I remember the rules were like, as long as we were like online between like 10 and 2 p.m, we could do it the rest of our hours at any other time. So that was really good. And as I said, if I wanted to like have a long weekend or book holiday, I didn't have to like book it in advance. I could just do it, as I said, because like, they were sort of like, I was doing them a favour sort of thing. So yeah, and as I said, I only worked part-time in my first job out of uni, so I only worked like between 10 and 20 hours a week, whereas now I do 35. So as I said, a lot of my time now is taken up by work. And basically last week, like this time last week, I was so sad, and honestly I felt the most depressed I've felt in a while. Yeah, it's making me really sad thinking about it. But yeah, as I said, the first month of work was absolutely fine. Like, I was just obviously settling into my apprenticeship. Like, I felt good to finally get out of the house, because my first 2 years, like my last 2 years of uni, I've worked from home. My other job, I worked from home. So it was nice to get out and like work in an office, and I still enjoy that aspect of my job. But yeah, as I said, after that month, and I think in June, so in May I had a lot of like personal issues going on. But as I said, work was all right at that time. But then in June, basically I got COVID, so I was off work for about a week, so I fell a little bit behind on my apprenticeship. And then my manager got COVID, and then she had shingles, so she was off for like 2 weeks. So a lot of June I was like working alone. And something I didn't really kind of consider with my apprenticeship is that a lot of it, my manager has to sign it off, or she has to like write witness statements. So a lot of the time I hand in the work I can, but I'm always waiting on her to do other things. So I just feel like I'm not getting stuff done. I find it really frustrating. And again, I think that comes from university. Like, you get given a piece of work, it's up to you to do it, and I would always get it done like really in advance. So I think I am struggling with that aspect of work and the apprenticeship, where I'm relying on someone else. So I need to get better at like letting go of that control. But yeah, and as I said, in May, when things were getting particularly bad, I was like, you know what, I do need to go back to therapy. I just really wasn't in a good place. I felt anxious like pretty much all the time again, and sort of when those anxious feelings come in, I start feeling really low again. And it's just like, as I said, I've been diagnosed with anxiety and depression in the past, so they just kind of feed off each other. So yeah, as I said, in May I made the decision to go back to therapy, and I do it once a fortnight, just mainly for cost reasons. Like, as I said, we also living in a financial crisis, which isn't great. And yeah, so therapy is helping. Obviously it doesn't get rid of your problems, but it does feel nice to go there once a fortnight and just really offload onto her, rather than like crying to my mum. As of this time last week, I had, so now in March, oh my god, now in August, I have like a deadline every Wednesday, and it is a lot, especially when you work a full-time job as well. Yeah, so with my apprenticeship, I get 20% of my week doing my apprenticeship from home, which is why I'm at home today filming. I'm filming this on like a little break. So yeah, that is good that I get this like 1 day a week at home, but it doesn't mean I'm still not struggling. As I think this time last week, because I couldn't get stuff done, I was just at home like worrying about it, like really catastrophizing it. And also one of my other anxieties at the moment is driving lessons. I have started with a new driving instructor, so that is my 6th driving instructor. I know, it's pretty shocking. But to be fair, the new instructor is much better. I think he kind of teaches in a way that's more suited to me. Like for example, if I do something a bit wrong, we will stop, he'll go through it, like how I can make it better, and we'll just keep doing it until it's right. Whereas my other instructor would just be like, you would fail a test for doing that, like do it again sort of thing. Like obviously I get with driving, you've got to like learn it on your own and like learn from your mistakes, but when you're in that learning process, you need to be like told how to do it. But yeah, so I started driving lessons a couple of weeks ago, and the first one I had just was not great. I think it was just strange, like being in a car again with someone I don't really know, and he had to put the brakes down at one point. It just really threw me off the rest of the lesson, and I managed to keep it in, but then I got the train home because my new instructor, he only does lessons like in the city where I do my test, so he can't like drive me home, so I have to get the train home. So again, that's something else, like he only has lessons on a Thursday evening, so I work like 8:30 till 4:30, then my lesson's at 5, and then he only does 2-hour lessons, so it's like, so I basically leave the house at like 7-8 o'clock in the morning. I don't get home again until 7:30, 8 at night. It is a long day. But yeah, so the first lesson, I was tired after a day of work. I like just wasn't really the frame of mind, and yeah, I finished the driving lesson, got on the train, and I just like sobbed my eyes out. I was just, again, it's just that feeling of like, I just don't really feel like I'm progressing. I know it's a really like bad thought, like the fact I've bought up my own car this year, and I'm like, I have got better with my driving. Like I said, when I drive my own car, I just feel so much more relaxed, probably because my mum isn't a driving instructor, like she doesn't have super high expectations. But yeah, it was just annoying. The first couple of lessons I've had with my new instructor, I just make so many mistakes which I just don't do in my own car. But so mum's like, Kira, you only have 2 lessons, like you're still adjusting, like just give it time. So yeah, so the lesson I had last week was much better, less mistakes, and I think because I knew what was coming my way, I wasn't like panicking as much. But yeah, so driving is still a struggle for me personally. I've been learning for nearly a year now. Obviously I've had quite a few breaks in between. I started learning last September, and then my other instructor was like off sick in November with COVID. Then he was off sick again in like February, March time. And then I did book a test for June, just gone, but I actually cancelled it. I said in May I was going through a lot of things personally, and it was just like too much to do a driving test, so I cancelled that, and I'm so glad I did. Because that's the other issue, like it's like a 6-month waiting list for driving tests, and it's like you don't need to book it because you've got to wait so long, but like you don't want to book if you don't feel completely ready, you know. So yeah, I'm literally not going to book it anytime soon. Not that I can anyway, but until I feel more confident in my instructor's car, I'm not booking a test, because I just know I wouldn't pass it. And I know obviously it's rare to pass first time anyway, but I just don't want to waste my money and make myself feel more shit in the process. But yeah, that's kind of what's been going on in my head at the moment. I'm actually going to therapy today. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video to say like life has been a bit hard recently. There's been a lot of tears, and I'm working through it, but I just I feel like, especially with like the postgraduate life, like I've watched a lot of university YouTubers and like graduates and stuff, and so many of them seem to go into jobs that they just love straight away, but no one really talks about adjusting to your first full-time job, because it is really hard. Like even if you work with the most lovely people, it is your dream job, it is so tiring going into an office 5 days a week, and like learning a new job as well, that takes a lot of energy in itself. And yeah, it's just like weird now that I'm like all my socialising needs to be sort of crammed in at the weekends. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to get the balance right with having time for myself and obviously seeing my friends. Like I'm so fortunate I have such a nice group of friends. Like I've sort of got my uni friends and my home friends, and they're all meeting for the first time this weekend, which is just like blows my mind. But yeah, I've definitely struggled with that. But hopefully, I think now all my friends are kind of back home again. We're going to try and meet up during the week as well, so we're not all just cramming stuff in on the weekends. But yeah, I don't really know where I was going with this video. But I think as well, like I've watched so many like graduation videos on TikTok especially, and it's just kind of hit home for me that all the people I know from uni have now finished, and that sort of chapter is behind us. Like it's weird that I don't know anyone at university anymore. Yeah, I don't know, yeah, it's kind of made me feel quite nostalgic and like, oh my god, that part of my life is over, like we're in adult world now. So yeah, it's been weird. It's been a strange few weeks, but I do feel like I'm coming out the other side of it. Obviously, there's still underlying issues which I need to sort out, but that's what therapy is for. So yeah, I do therapy twice a month, and also my driving lessons because they are so expensive as well. Like I'm on an apprenticeship wage, so I'm not earning loads, so I can only do 2 driving lessons a month realistically, unless I didn't put any savings away. But like I know I need to save, so yeah, that's what's been going on. But as I said, I'm very lucky I've got my own car. Again, that's another cost, like filling up my car and things. And I went to Halfords at the weekend and bought like mirrors and stuff and like new windscreen wipers. It's just like, I'm like, oh my god, I do feel more like an adult now. But at the same time, I think because I still live in my mum's house, I've had this weird feeling recently, like I do want to move out probably in the next couple of years. Like I said, I couldn't afford to move out right now, but I do miss having my own space. And when I was at university, even though I lived with other people, I felt like I got my own space more. Like I would just literally after dinner I'd go up to my room and just chill, whereas now me and mum watch TV in the evening, which is really nice. But I do miss having my own space, especially as working in a full-time job now where I'm like customer facing. I'm talking to people all day every day and I'm such an introvert, and yeah, like I do miss my own space, which I had when I worked from home. So it's just about getting that balance right. But yeah, as I said, work has been tough, but I had a 3-month review with my manager, so I kind of raised any issues I had, and she does want to get them sorted, which is really good. So, but yeah, I just sort of wanted to make this video today. It's okay if you struggle with postgraduate life, because I know I am, and as I find that a bit of a weird concept, because I know if you followed me for like a long time, you'll know I didn't really enjoy, especially like 3rd year of uni, I didn't really enjoy that, or when I first did 2nd year. Obviously there was times of university I did really enjoy, but looking back as a whole experience, I didn't like love it. So I met really nice people, but the whole like studying thing just, yeah, I don't know, it just wasn't for me. But I got through it. I still got a 2-1 degree, so yeah. But yeah, now I'm sort of in a job, I'm like, I'm not sure if I see myself doing this really long term. I'm a bit back at that stage when I dropped out of university, like, oh my god, what am I going to do next? Like, I had this sort of rant to my mum. I was like, Mum, I just feel really lost in what I'm meant to be doing. And she just sort of said, she was like, Kira, that's like full-time work. It will be boring, it will be hard at times, but you just got to get on with it. And I was like, oh, okay. So mum tells you how it is. But yeah, and I think it's hard as well. Like obviously I watch so much YouTube, and most YouTubers I watch are like all travelling at the moment, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, not that I've never really craved like travelling for months at a time. I think that would unsettle me quite a lot. Like going to Milan, I realised how bad my sort of travel anxiety is. Like I just didn't really feel settled the whole time I was there. Like I'm fine doing city breaks or whatever in this country, I think, because you don't have the like airport side of things, and like it's your own like language, it's your own culture, so it doesn't feel as like out of your depth. But because I hadn't like travelled abroad in like 3 years, it was, yeah, I did struggle with my Milan trip, hence why I didn't really vlog it or anything. Also because I was with family, but I just did not feel myself at all. So maybe like over time I'll get better with travelling, because there is like places in the world I want to see. And I spoke about to my mum yesterday because we watched Megan Short do like a solo travel trip. And to be honest, I think travelling solo I'd probably maybe prefer, because at least when you're at an airport you haven't got like other people with you. Like if there's a plane delay, you're not all getting grouchy at each other. Whereas if it was just me at an airport, I could just focus on me, do what I wanted to do. As because I'm such an introvert, like I really don't mind my own company at all. So yeah, maybe that's an option for the future, to do a bit more solo travel. But then because I'm a girl, I worry about things that could happen to me as like a solo female, you know? It's sad that we live in a world like that, but it's just something we've all got to deal with. But yeah, as I said, I really wanted to make this video to say the past few months have been rough. I won't lie, between like May and July, not been great, but we keep going, we keep battling through. And I just think with my job at the moment, luckily my apprenticeship is only like a year long, so I could always change jobs this time next year. I mean, the thought of applying for jobs again gives me the ick, but again, it's part of life. If you're not happy with something, change it. So we'll see. Because like all my friends are like, and my family are like, oh, why do you not work in social media? I'm like, I don't know, like I love creating personally, but when I actually worked in it, I'm not a graphic designer, so I don't really enjoy that part of it. Like I love making reels and things, But I think when you do it for a business, it's very like structured, and like it's hard to be creative like constantly. Again, like me, because I've been going through a bit of a rough patch, my creative juices have not been flowing. So if I worked in a job where I had to be like creative and think all the time, I don't know how well I'd perform, but we will see what happens. But as I said, I'm not leaving my current job or anything, but yeah, I just know deep down I don't want to do this sort of thing for the rest of my life, and that's okay. I think that's what your 20s are about, it's just like learning what you want to do and don't want to do. Yeah, so I'm going to stop this video here. I feel like it's very long and rambly, but yeah, if there's anyone else struggling, I really feel for you, because I know what it's like, and it's okay to feel lost. I think it's something that a lot of people experience, so yeah, just be kind to yourself and do what you can to change your situation. But yeah, I hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe if you did, and I will see you soon.